bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum. Hi, friends. Great to see you all. I see you all coming up. Oh, my gosh. Elizabeth has been shoveling snow here in Pennsylvania for an hour and a half. Oh, my man, do I need roost talk, says Elizabeth. That's really great. Oh, my gosh. Nothing like the bright sunlight shining on the covered lawn, brighter than LEDs, says Heather. All right, friends. It's so great to see you. My name is Joette Calabrese, and I'm here every Monday night, without fail. We do have trouble with our technology sometimes, but I'm still here. So I'm here every Monday night to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to meet with you and discuss homeopathy. Tonight's going to be a little bit different, but we're still going to have a little time to talk about some homeopathy. And so for those of you who already know me, welcome, dear friends. It's great to see you all. Hello, everyone. Says Pamela and Shelley. Hello from central Wisconsin. And I'm in Florida, and it is very comfortable here. I know it's one of the few states that did not get hit with this weather problem. So good to see you all. I love to see you hopping in. Tonight was going to be a little bit different. I'm going to talk to you about Mastermind, what it is, what a mastermind group is, and what I've just come off of with my team. 6 days of Mastermind, 2 groups. One group was 3 days, and the other group was another 3 days, and it was a whirlwind and very exciting. Lots of fun, mostly because of the people. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about what a mastermind group is. First, I'll tell you that Perry and I have gone to a number of them, having nothing to do with homeopathy, only to do with business. And we loved them. We went there years ago, went to them a couple different ones years ago, and really got to know people and completely enjoyed working in a mastermind group. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. It's a concept that was, you may be familiar with it. It's been attributed to originally to Napoleon Hill. And he was a journalist, and he was charged by Carnegie, of enormous wealth. Carnegie from the turn of the last century. And Carnegie believed that his prosperity was due to meeting with other industrialists. Kind of an interesting concept, right? You would think they would all be adversaries. But no, instead, what they did is they created an association, and Napoleon Hill was charged by Carnegie to go around and find and organize other industrialists and find out what they were doing that was making them successful. And in so doing, he came up with the idea, or perhaps it was Carnegie, perhaps it was Napoleon Hill, to organize these industrialists, these very wealthy men, into a consortium so that they could all share the wealth of information. Now, we don't like those industrialists so much, do we? We don't have a fondness in our hearts for them. But what we do have, my friends, is the ability to perhaps follow that idea. And so with that idea, that's what I have decided to do. I decided this 3 years ago. And this is what he said, Napoleon Hill. This formula for success has worked for me. I want you to go out. No, this is Carnegie. Has worked for me. I want you to go out, he said to Napoleon Hill, and interview people of achievement and learn what they believe contributed to their success. People of achievement. What is their formula? What is the formula? And it turns out that one of the great formulas of the success that was found as the success of these industrialists who were extremely wealthy was to meet together and share ideas. Now, dear students, dear friends, regardless of how we feel about industrialists, regardless how we feel about wealth, what I do believe has to do with wealth is intelligence and the sharing of intelligence, ideas and the sharing of ideas. or perhaps despite how we feel about them, that we feel as though we need to get this information so that the information that we can share amongst ourselves, not just the information of homeopathy and practical homeopathy that I spend a great deal of time in my life getting this out to the world. But how can we become more successful in doing so? Well, the way we do that is we share ideas. And what's really fascinating about it is that we share within a small group. Now, we can do it this way too. But I have to tell you, in these mastermind groups that I have, and I see that some of you who are in the mastermind group this weekend are joining me tonight. This is the requirement for my mastermind groups that I have organized. First is that they have to finish 1 year of the academy. It's a full year. It's a very extensive study. Rigorous, quite rigorous. And then they have to go a second year, which is the mastery program, which is follows the academy. It's 11 months. Not nearly as rigorous, but extremely valuable. It's like the first year of the academy is like medical school, and the second year is like residency, as someone just put it to me recently. And then they may join my mastermind group. Now, I don't want to make this sound exclusive that you can't join this, my friends. What I want you to do, I want to share in some of the value of this group and what we came together with this particular weekend. Now, we had two groups. One group that's been together, now it'll be their third year. We've stayed together. It's only 12 people. I don't want large groups. I find that 12 to 13 people is just right. We had a larger group a few years back, and it was, I think, 20 people. We went to 21, then we went to 20 something, maybe it was 19. And I found that it was a little bit too large because in these groups, what we do is we sit together for 3 days and in a circle, and each person is required to give their opinion about to give their ask. I need help with this. I need help with putting my courses together, gateway courses, or I need help in putting together my practice, or I'm already finished with my practice and now I want to be able to sell my practice, or I'm a grandmother and what I really want to do is to be able to disseminate this information to my grandchildren. And so maybe it's a mother of 7 and she wants to make sure that she gets this information to her younger children and brings this into the legacy of their family. So each person has their own charge, and then the group gives this person information, ideas, recommendations, suggestions based on their own experience, based on what they've read, based on what they have done in their lives. And it is, talk about intellectually delicious. It is one of the more joyful parts of my career. And will be this next year, 2026. We did it 24, 25, and now we're doing it in 26. And everyone has an opportunity to help each other. And then if you ask for help, which is the whole idea, give me suggestions, dear other masterminders, then you must give something back. So they must come with something of value, a book that has really made a difference in their lives, a course that they've taken, some advice that they've used, a really useful, really poignant attorney, or an accountant, or somebody of great value, something of great value that it gives back to the group. Well, you can imagine, my friends, with this kind of exchange of ideas, the ideas are constant. And I've written, this is what I've done. I've got two books of these, I've just filled out 2 of these legal pads this weekend in writing notes. It's that much information. It's that valuable. So I want to share with you a little something that's come from that. I can't reveal to you what other people have said, because it is also a sacred place where people are able to discuss things without anyone sharing it. But I can share this. I'm going to tell you this, that what I've noticed in these 2 separate groups, one group that's been together this will be our 3rd year together, one group it was their very first year together, is that they're all women. They happen to all be women. Doesn't mean men are not invited, but so far that's what it has been. These women have one anchor that has taken them that will take them to their next step professionally, personally, emotionally, even for some spiritually. The anchor is the focus on their family, their strong sense of responsibility and duty to their families. It is so apparent to me. Now, is this because these women come to this because that's what my focus is, and I feel that it's very important, and it's the underpinnings of society if we have a family, intact as much as possible? That is a big part of my philosophy. But these women, whether that was the reason, that's the reason they come with that already intact, or whether or not it really is just naturally who they are, I actually believe it's naturally who they are. And it is such a joy to be around these women. So they start with that premise, and then they decide they want to know more. They want to understand how to move ahead in their lives. And one of the things that we discussed is Parkinson's law in relationship to time management. Now, Parkinson's law, not Parkinson's disease, Parkinson's law was named after, I think his name was Northcote Parkinson. I've got it here. And it expands on a way that we use our time. And he says work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Fascinating. I'm going to read it again. Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion, which means that if you decided you wanted to put together a course, teach a gateway course, for example, or write a book, or build a house, and you say, I have a plan and I'm going to finish it in 2028. It will likely be finished in 2028 if you focus on that. But if you say that same amount of work can be done, perhaps I could do it sooner. Maybe I could finish it at the end of 2026. It'll get done then. So whatever the amount of time is that you assign to a task, that's how long it will take you to do it. Because you keep thinking, well, I got 2 more years. So why am I moving so quickly? I don't have. But if you know that you've got to finish it this year, it'll get done. And so that is a big part of what we talk about is time management and how we are using our time. And it is such an exciting thing to hear because we make promises to ourselves in these mastermind groups, and then it's the job of the others to hold the one who made that promise to herself to keep her feet to the fire. In 2 months when we meet, or actually we meet every 2 weeks now for the rest of the year. And in a couple of months, we're going to say, okay, so what happened with that book that you're writing? How far have you gotten? And how far have you gotten with the sale of the property that you wanted to sell? And how about remortgaging those properties that you're working on? And see, it's not just about homeopathy. It's about moving forward in your life. Although many of these people come to this group with the focus of homeopathy, they can also come to the group with cases. We work on cases and help each other with cases as well. So it's a fascinating group, and I wanted to share it with you because I think that it's something that we can all grow from. You know, when we consolidate our thinking, when we consolidate our ideas, and we're willing to give freely and share freely, that brings the whole group up. All boats will come to the surface. All boats will float as long as the water is incorporating everyone. It is a beautiful thing to behold. So, work expands so as to fill the time available for completion. Absolutely, says Tammy. That's exactly what Parkinson's law is about. It's wonderful to see you all. Hello from the Burgesses in San Juan. So Mastermind can last longer than 1 year. Well, it's what we assign 1 full year. We commit to a year, and then we start over again, and we go to the next year, and we recommit. Yeah, love small groups, says Tammy. Yes. Yeah, it's really hi from Chicagoland. It's great to see everyone. Let's see what we've got here. See if I can answer some of your questions. And high tide rises all boats. You're absolutely right, Grazia. You're right. Yes. Let's see what else we've got. I'm hoping that I can scroll this down a little bit better. Oh, here we go. Now we're going. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And what happens is there's this kind of, because we're all women in these groups, a sisterhood that is that we would do anything to help each other. And we grow from each other, we learn from each other, and everyone comes from a different point of view. Some come from outside of the country. Some of them come from, certainly Canada and the U.S. and we share. Okay. All righty. Let us talk. It is what, 8, I can barely read it, 8:16 Eastern time. Thank you for your compliments, friends. Toronto received about 2 feet of snow over the weekend. Yeah. Hi, Barb from Toronto. It's amazing. Yeah. So School of Hard Knocks interviews millions and millionaires and billionaires, less than a minute-long interviews. Invariably, they mention faith. There's no doubt about it. Faith and family. Everybody said the same thing, faith and family. That's what it boils down to. Particularly, my friends, when you're dealing with homeopathy. And why would that be? Because we usually start homeopathy. We start learning it because we just want to be able to treat our child's ear infection. We just want to take care of our little puppy that is not doing so well. That's all we want to do. We don't even think that it could take us further than this. And then when we start working with homeopathy, we see it as I see it, as God's medicine. And what I mean by that is that there's no big, fat, ugly, synthetic industry behind it. It is, there are very simple medicines, as simple as this beautiful little, what is this, Simicifuga 30C? Beautiful medicine for $15 that can cure all kinds of ailments, including pain and angina, etc. All right, let's see what else we've got. We so need this. How do you start? Do we start online? No, we start as a kickoff. Everyone met in Florida, and I gained, I think, close to 3 pounds because it was 6 days of unbelievable food. We always get great food. And then we're together all half a day, then a whole day, and then another half a day. So I guess in ways it's not really 3 days; it's 3 days total. But it can actually be quite rigorous. Yes, yeah, it's God's medicine. And then from that time forward, we meet online every 2 weeks for the rest of the year. Then we start again next year. For those who want to stay with me, stay all together, then we do it again. Now, Perry and I were in a couple of groups like this years ago, and we stayed together for a few years. Yeah. And we really helped each other. And in that group, there were no homeopaths. As I said, there were a couple of dentists. There was a baseball camp, a husband and wife team who owned a very successful baseball camp, a fellow who owned vineyards in California, a plastic surgeon. We had a wonderful group of people, and we all helped each other. It's Tammy says, I liken homeopathy to Bible study. You learn so much by studying together. That's absolutely so. Think and Grow Rich. That's right. That's exactly what Napoleon Hill's book is. He's most known for that book, Think and Grow Rich. I really like Napoleon Hill's work, and particularly this. And I don't agree with everything they say, by the way, in some of these self-help books, but this is a great place for us to kick off. All right, let's see what we've got here. Faith and family. Yes, it's what motivates us. Yes. My goal is to teach a gateway class this year. Yes, Robin, and you will love it. And I will tell you, when you teach a gateway class, friends, and it's not actually you're even teaching, you're really just guiding. We give you all the information. It's super easy to do. But you will learn an enormous amount. You will learn a lot. Okay. Robin says, I just don't know how to start, Fernisha. So Fernisha, maybe you could help her out a little bit. We've got lots of programs to help you get started in all of that. So someone was talking about, I saw this, I was looking up here for it, about a grandson who had grandson had his eardrum burst last night. I looked up in Robin Murphy's meta repertory and found calendula to help his ear. Yes, Joanne, and let me just tell you this, that for the longest time, the American Academy of Pediatrics made it sound as though that was be such a horrible thing. And it's not pleasant, there's no doubt about it. But it's not unlike in many ways the way that I see it and the way many other old-time doctors see it, is it's not unlike a boil or carbuncle that erupts in many places of the world, including Great Britain. The last I read, and this was a long time ago, I'm going to say it was a good 25 years ago, that the pediatricians in Great Britain were allowing the eardrum to rupture, instead of suppressing it down with Tylenol and other drugs that have been associated with asthma and other conditions. They allow it to occur, and then it releases. That's what the pain is the pressure. Usually, not always, but usually. Yeah, calendula. It's a great idea. You bet. Let's see what we've got here. People are talking about the snow. Snowy Connecticut. Let's see. So Mastermind can last longer than 1 year. Well, my friends, since I am the facilitator, I can make it last, 10 years if we want. But we're taking 1 year at a time. And so we meet for a year, and then we reconvene the following year and start up again. Yep. Let's see what else we've got here. Everyone lives far apart and so busy. How do we start a group? Well, as I said, we had people fly down to Florida and meet up in my neck of the woods. Certainly makes it easier for me. And then from that time forward, we meet online every other week on Zoom. So it's only one time. But a number of people couldn't make it because of the weather and airlines. And so we had them a large screen with them on Zoom. 4 people were on Zoom, and the rest of us were all meeting. That was the second group. The first group had only, as I recall, maybe 1 person on Zoom. And then we met with them. They were right there in the room with us. Thank you for the compliments about the pink. Replying to Tammy, replying to Tammy. Thank you, Tiff, because I cannot answer that, as one can imagine. So go ahead and help that person out a little bit. All righty. What else do we have here? Would you treat urethral prolapse the same as a bladder prolapse? Yes. Yes, most likely, yes. And I just wrote about that, so I'm glad that you're thinking that way. Yeah, Fernicia says, I'm happy to help. The Gateway books are a great and wonderful way to lead others to practical homeopathy. You can do this with a smiley face. Let's see. Then let's see. It's flipping up. It's going so quickly. Excuse me. Then how can the conventional docs sell you on ear tubes? You're absolutely right. Yeah, they can't do that. Winter question. Fingers now sensitive and painful in cold weather after past long painful exposures. Not chilblains. I'm surprised to hear that. And not confirmed frostbite, only pain. Does this warrant Hemamelis arnica daily or just SOS? Well, when it's something that is an SOS, when it's only happening at that time, that's when I would use a medicine that was appropriate for that moment in time. I would not use homeopathic medicines all year if the condition only occurs under specific circumstances. Let's just see. How was calendula used? Oh, I'm sorry, it's flipping. So I'm after ruptured eardrum. Diluted tincture in the ear. Well, Deb, anybody have an idea for how calendula would be used? In the repertory, most often, Robin Murphy's talking, not always, but is often talking about potentized. I want to try to get a group together for a discovery party and hope to get folks interested in taking Gateway, says Bernadine Pierce. I hope that you're in touch with our group Bernadine, because it is very, we give a lot of support on running these groups, lots of support. Let's just see what else we've got. The snow blindness. How often would one dose aconitum? 200. Well, when somebody has an acute condition, we're going to use the medicine as often as it's needed. Now, that sounds like I'm evading the question, but really what I'm saying is that you're not going to use a medicine once every 3 days if it's happening consistently now and it's rather acute. Nor are you going to take it every 2 minutes or every 5 minutes when it's happening, but it's not of imminent danger. So it depends on how severe it is. If something is not so severe, we might use it every few hours. If it's something that is quite severe, someone is, let's say, hemorrhaging, you're going to use it every few minutes. So you're going to meet the intensity, you meet the frequency of the medicine with the intensity of the condition. Okay, here's Joette. Is Leanna part of the Mastermind group? She would be a good contributor to the idea. Harry, you're right, absolutely right. She was part of our Mastermind group the first year. She absolutely was, and she was a great contributor. And I believe I'm still in touch with her. Karen asks, Joette, can you please help our Gateway group think homeopathically about pet paws affected by salted walkways in the winter if cleaning and salves are not enough? Medicines we have discussed as possibilities are cantharis, natmur, homeopathic calendula, sulfur, and petroleum. Thank you. Well, here's the thing. Pet paws affected by salt. Are you sure it's salt? Because some of the stuff that they sprinkle on sidewalks is not salt. It's not at all salt. If it is indeed salt, then I might consider, and you're sure that it's not because it's the cold. It is indeed salt and not one of those chemical products that you can put on the walkway. I would consider natmur. Absolutely. Yes. I recently purchased remedies in water. Yeah, there you go. Bernadine, people are asking where they're based. Recently purchased remedies in water. States good for 30 days after opening if kept refrigerated. Is this true? Yes, I would say you could probably keep it a little bit longer. The pharmacies are particularly careful because they are indeed pharmacies and they're highly regulated. It might hold longer than that, but yeah, it could last a little bit longer, but then it might not. Let's see. We have any other questions here? Oh my gosh, is this really the time? We have 3 minutes left. Really? Can I give through you to my son a week before? Okay, I already answered that question. Somebody else is going to have to help them. That question. Do you read our comments in YouTube live? No, I don't. I've got too many forums to answer questions. I'm sorry. But if you join Joette's Mighty Members, you will get some help with questions being answered. Is hypericum good for osteoporosis? For how long to take it? Hypericum for osteoporosis. Hypericum is for pain. And osteoporosis is not painful, at least not that I'm aware of. Perhaps there's a specific condition related to osteoporosis. And I have written about it. Joette Calabrese, osteoporosis. Just go to my blog. The military is supposed to take religious exemption. Okay, how would you use influenzinum from boron to prevent flu? People ask me that all the time. I don't use that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Some people like to use it prophylactically, maybe if they feel as though they're coming down with it, or if somebody else in the family's got it. But I don't know. I've kind of stepped away from that kind of thinking in terms of worrying about catching something. All right. Harkness method of, Phillips Esther Academy. Okay, let's see what we've got. Tammy, would they accept prophylaxis? It's a form of protection using homeopathy. There's a fabulous book on it. Let me try to find it. I am very familiar with the homeoprophylaxis book, and I think that they have a very good point, but I don't go all the way with it. Scylla Watcott was a friend of mine. She's one of the authors. Kate Birch is the other. I think they've got very good information, but I did not follow homeoprophylaxis all the way to the end. Okay, so someone's replying to Dana. Okay. Read up on detox and try to support. Yes, I have a course on detoxing. Joette Calabrese Learning Center or Joette's Learning Center, and scroll down to detox. I have an entire course on it, an online course that might help you a great deal with that. Do join Mighty's Plus. And somebody's asking, where do I log into it? And others, if you could help her out. Can you treat alpha-gal? Of course. Absolutely. Alpha-gal is not as complex as one would make it out to be. And I would approach that. In fact, I think I'm going to be writing about that soon, but I'm pretty sure that I've covered that in the Good Gut, Bad Gut course. I don't know that I actually called it alpha-gal, but I did talk about meat, ailments from meat. Yes, I've seen people get over alpha-gal syndrome. Okay, Joette saw your glimpse into boomeropathy winter 2025 homeopathy today from NCH. Yeah. Um, Joette, were you able to ask Boron about the cell salts being pulled off the shelves? I don't. Cell salts, there are, I would not call it cell salts being pulled off the shelves. I would say that some of the companies, well, Whole Foods is no longer carrying a good array of boron products. They don't include the single remedy tubes. Instead, they're only carrying the combined medicines. Can you describe why someone might take a course such as boomeropathy or alternatively join the academy? Well, the courses are about under $500, and you can learn a great deal. But the academy is rigorous. It's an entire year. I mean, it is rigorous. You meet with me live every week. There's intense homework. There's a pathophysiology. You have to go through that course. You have to go through the study of the aphorisms and Dr. Hahnemann's work. It's a very intense. The academy is quite intense, but at the end of the year, you will feel as though you've gotten your time's worth. Our local store said that Highlands and Boron pulled 2 of them off the shelf. Okay, 2, I don't know, cell salts perhaps, but that's what you're talking about. Used Camphor 200C to clear path from using a blood thinner, which I stopped a few months ago. Didn't like being on it for AFib. About an hour later, had AFib for a few hours straight. Used eucalyptus to stop irregular palpitations. They did stop, but now I am getting AFib daily, but not long time. What can I do to keep the irregular beats from happening? It was under control before I did the camphor. Wish I hadn't done that. Well, I have to tell you, I keep scrolling down, Mary. I can't take your case, and that's really what you're asking me to do. I'd have to know a lot more than that. All righty, my friends, we are now at 8:33 Eastern Time. I've gone over a little bit. We're going to go to Joette's Mighty Members, and looking forward to those of you who join me. And Perry's going to take it from here. And so do join me if you are members, or if you're a member, and I will be answering more questions for you.